Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is D. In today's video, we're going to do a really good supporting actor in Hollywood. He's not really a lead or even like a co-star. He's more of a supporting actor, but he's damn good. A lot of filmographies that I've showcased have been supporting actors because, let's face it, there's a lot of supporting actors who do a lot of work and they're in a lot of films. So let's give supporting actors some flowers too, not just leads and co-stars. Let's dive in. We're going to start off with one that was just done in the Danny Glover video, and this is called Diablo with Scott Eastwood and Walton Goggins. Now, I already ran a little rant about Scott Eastwood, so catch the last video for that one. Tomb Raider. Now, I didn't care too much for this movie, and I just don't think she was right to play Lara Croft. She just didn't come off as Croft enough for me. I didn't like the movie. I'm not going to say, again, when I say I don't like a movie, that doesn't necessarily mean it's terrible. If a movie is trash, I'll just come right out and call it trash. I have no problem with calling a movie trash or saying it was just garbage or hot shit. This wasn't that. It wasn't my favorite Tomb Raider movie. The first two Tomb Raider movies were Angelina Jolie. Even though I didn't care too much for the second one, The Cradle of Life, I still think at least that first one was better than this. And that's my opinion. You may feel differently. House of a Thousand Corpses. Rob Zombie get a lot of flack for the way he direct movies and the way he do things, but I'll be honest with you, I like Zombie. He's different. He's not like everybody else, and I don't think he tries to be like everybody else. Again, you guys know, for the faithful who's always here, you guys know I really hold the Rob Zombie Halloween movies in high regard where everybody else don't. I think they're two really, really good Halloween movies. And the first one being, to me, the best Halloween movie in my opinion. I like the way the origin of Michael Myers was broke down. It was very graphic. It was very violent. And the second one was good too. It was very violent, but I think the second one, the pacing wasn't as good as the first one. But I do like the two Rob Zombie movies. I know a lot of people in the BlueTube, and not just the BlueTube community, but general moviegoers didn't really care too much for those, but I don't really see why. They was really, really good, and they was scary as shit. All the Halloween movies are dark in tone. Let's set that straight right now. I'm not going to say any of them was really like light, but the two Rob Zombie ones, they was dark as shit. They were just gritty. I mean, the second one was gritty as hell too. That first one was super gritty. And I think they made a comeback with the last trilogy with the first one. The second one was okay, but then they killed it with Halloween Ends. So whenever they get a good traction with their series, they come out with some garbage and just set it back. You know what I mean? But anyway, that was my take on Rob Zombie. You guys know how I do. I go into little rants, but back onto the video. We're talking about Walton Goggins. Django Unchained. I really dug Walton in this movie. He was phenomenal. He was funny. He's always funny. In Tarantino movies, he's just always hilarious. Speaking of another one with Goggins that was funny, The Hateful Eight. This is one of my favorite Tarantino films in my top 3 of Tarantino films. My top 3 is Pulp Fiction, The Hateful Eight, and Django Unchained. Not in that order, but those are my top 3. I really like The Hateful Eight. Samuel L. Jackson and Walton Goggins, the way they closed this one out at the end was just incredible. It was funny as shit. I liked it. It was just, man, it was a good movie. I liked that movie. Really good movie. Cowboys and Aliens. This is a movie that I liked, but when this movie got announced, it was coming out and all of that kind of stuff, I was hyped. I'm like, wait a minute, because the concept of it was crazy. Like, cowboys and aliens? Really? All right. And I was expecting more. I don't know why I was expecting more, but when I saw it, I didn't say, wow, that was a shit movie. I was just like, I didn't know what to think of it at first. I had to watch it again. And I'm just like, I wanted more from it. I don't know what, but I just wanted more. It wasn't a bad movie, though. G.I. Joe Retaliation. Ant-Man. Again, I don't know why the MCU decided to go with Ant-Man. Out of all the characters they could have went with in the Marvel catalog, Ant-Man, and then not only Ant-Man, they tripled the fuck down on him. He's got 3 standalone movies. Ant-Man. Again, it wasn't a bad movie. It's Ant-Man. It is what it is. The Bourne Identity. He was in the Bourne Identity. Maze Runner. He was in the Death Cure. That would be the 3rd one. The next Karate Kid. This is a Steven Spielberg movie, and this, to me, is a good Steven Spielberg movie. Lincoln. What a fantastic movie. I really like this movie. I like these kind of movies. Straw Dogs. Now, let's talk about Straw Dogs for a second because this is a remake. This is a remake. I think this was a really good remake. I watched this one, then I have both. I have the original on DVD. So I watched the original, and I watched this one. Then I watched this one first, and watched the original second. I kind of watched them 4 times. Not all back to back, but I just to, really examine this one. Because remakes, I like a lot of remakes. And what I do is I compare and contrast a remake. Especially if I have the original, I will watch the remake against the original maybe twice just to really pick it apart. Because a lot of people criticize remakes just because it's a remake. This was a pretty good remake. It wasn't as good. I'm not going to say it wasn't as good as the original. I think the original, what people probably think about when they think about the original, of how gritty it was because it was an older movie. The older one was just real gritty compared to this one. And the other one, in the original, it was over somewhere, I do believe in the UK somewhere. This one, they wasn't in the UK. It was like in the countryside or something like that. But it had good actors, good talent. This was a good movie. I'm not going to trash this remake. This was a good remake. Now, is it better than the original? I think it was just as good. I'm not going to say it was better, really. I'm not going to say it was better, but in my opinion, I think it was just as good. I liked it. I think James Marsden did a good job playing the cowardly husband who snapped at the end, just like Dustin Hoffman did. It was a good movie. And last but not least, he was in this TV series, The Shield. The Shield was a good TV show. I think a lot of people slept on it. I think a lot of people did enjoy it because it ran for, I think, 7 seasons. So that's a good run for a TV show. I do believe it ran for like 7 seasons. So although a lot of people didn't really take to it, a lot of people did. It's a good TV show, The Shield. Very gritty, very hard-nosed, balls-to-the-wall type of TV cop drama. Really good show. Really good show. So let's go ahead and recap everything with Walton Goggins, The Shield. If you haven't checked that one out, you may want to. Straw Dogs remake. This is a good remake. Don't listen to the haters. This was a good movie. Lincoln. The next Karate Kid. Maze Runner, The Death Cure. The Bourne Identity. Ant-Man. G.I. Joe Retaliation. Cowboys and Aliens. The Hateful Eight. Django Unchained. House of a Thousand Corpses. Tomb Raider. Diablo. So that's everything starring Walton Goggins is in my collection. A really good supporting actor. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.